Hi, I'm Paul Roberts. This is Conscious Counseling 101. This is going to be a different kind of a video, but I'm going to make it more generic because I've got very little information from the person. The person has just graduated, I believe, right about 18. And the thing that this person wants is to become famous and gallivant around with other famous people and live kind of like their lives. And I said, well, I can't really do a video on that, but I'm going to speak to that. I said, tell me a little bit more. And basically she said, she just lacks a little bit of self-confidence. This video, I've got so little to go on, it isn't funny. I went back and forth with her a few times, and I finally got enough information to where I would do a video that was worthwhile on this subject matter. And hopefully you'll get something out of it. And hopefully others will too. In fact, that's why I do this type of thing. I do it because I gain something and I give it to others. And hopefully the person that asks can also get something. Coming to you out of my office today, I've got props and things that I've done. And that's what's in the background there that you see. I picked this guy up. I picked him up on the street. A lot of people throw things out around here. And I thought he was cute. So I put my little sweater on him. All right. So here's the thing. Oh, and also how to network and get involved in the industry. I don't know why you would ask me that, but I actually can speak to that. I've worked with Henry Winkler, gotten great accolades from him from the work that I've done. I've worked with Burt Reynolds, John Ritter, and got to see them work and know them up close. And I guess I could have gone running after those relationships. In fact, Morgan Fairchild I worked with, and her sister, actually, after a film I worked with them on, they wanted me to come out here to LA and be their assistants full time. And I already had a wife and everything, so I wasn't going to do that. But I could have. So I can speak a little bit to what you're talking about. So let's start off with that. I always tell my kids this. They're a little bit older than you. They don't have enough life experience to even really formulate an idea of what they want. And I'm going to guess that you probably don't either. But I'm going to immerse myself in the world that you're in currently, and that is, how do you get the idea that these are the things that are important? Why should we strive for these things in the first place? And that's because everything we do and see is on the screen, whether it's the computer, the movie, television, whatever. And so we think that we have to live our life vicariously through the way other people see us and the way we portray ourselves. I am 60 years old. I could have taken the time to light this with theatrical lighting and make myself look good. I could have worn something other than the white t-shirt that I always work in, and I wear white t-shirts because I'm constantly getting paint on them and throwing them out and buying new white t-shirts. I could have gone to the trouble of showing you like my experience and things like that and telling you, hey, you could do this too. I started sweeping the floors. That's how I got in. There's your advice. It doesn't take anybody to think they want everything. They want that brass ring. It doesn't take anything to think that. Many people do rise to superstardom and fame by many different circumstances. I did a lot of videos for millionaires and whatnot in Orlando when I was doing video production. And one of the things that they always said in their promotional speeches was, all you have to do to be successful and to be a millionaire is to want to be. And I will say this to you. Likely, in some form or another, all you would have to do is want to have what you want to have, and it'll come true in some form or another. What does that mean for a millionaire? It means you have to pursue it. You have to work it, okay? It seems like everybody wants to be a millionaire or a multimillionaire or whatever you call them these days. Now that doesn't even seem like very much anymore compared to some of the billionaires that we have among us. Are these things, this is what you have to ask yourself spiritually and mentally, and just every capability that you have. Separate yourself from your friends. Separate yourself from media. Ask yourself, why do you want these things? You want these things because you want to have the accolades and all the trimmings that come with these supposed accolades so that you can have a life that just seems to give you things on a platter and makes everything easy for you. Perhaps you want to feel as though anything you might have done in the past will be erased if you rise to a certain amount of acclaim. Okay? These aren't lofty goals. I mean, they are lofty goals, but they're not worthy goals. In and of themselves, they're not worthy goals. You have to ask yourself, is the reason why you're doing this is because you want the comfort that society can give? It's so commonplace to want these things. You're doing nothing in your first steps out of the gate with your education and your youth that isn't notably something that anybody would do that doesn't see anything larger. And so you're in the lowest common denominator. You're seeing things the way almost everybody is seeing them. You got your whole life ahead of you, and you could do whatever you want to with it. And you could perhaps achieve those things. A lot of those things do require you to have skills. You have to have presence. You have to have a certain suave, atmosphere about yourself. You have to have self-confidence. You have to do things with this self-confidence that the next person can't do as well. And that's meaningful to others. In fact, they say, if you help enough other people in your life, eventually you'll be able to help yourself. That's just a saying, it's just a quote. But there's a lot of wisdom that goes towards that. You have to be a giving person to receive. If you only go out and try to take, you might get some of the things you take, but you might also get the obstacles and the hindrances that having that point of view of life and having those types of actions bring to you. And then you have to fight off all the things that you've created by your spontaneity, your good intentions, of course, but now you have to fight off all the baggage that you've placed on yourself and any decisions you made that might not have been the best decisions. Now you have other things you have to champion. You have to get past all the things you created for yourself because that was what you decided to do. Before you know it, you're burdened down. Instead of rising up and ascending to these great places, you now have so much weight on your shoulders from the choices that you've made, from thinking that these are the important things in life, that now you have to carry these burdens around for the rest of your life. I don't wish this for you, but I know that it's so commonplace that you say to yourself, well, why would I listen to some guy like this that goes ahead and says, I'll just be your friend and I'll talk to you and I'll give you life coaching advice. Why should I listen to this guy? He's not wealthy. He's not anything I want to be. I've been all the things that you want to be and walked away from them. Okay? They were just stepping stones. They were just means to an end. I got all the accolades that I ever wanted from these big stars. I was rubbing elbows with them. I was getting compliments and talking with them and seeing what their life is like, sharing with them. I could have pursued that, but something deep inside of me wanted to do something more meaningful. What's meaningful in life means different things for just about everybody. But just being something that you think at your age superficially and shallow is all that we should be, I believe is going to fail you. Why would you listen to me? Why would you listen to me? What can I say to you to let you know that I've walked a different road, even though I had plenty of chances to pursue exactly what you're asking for and what you're wanting right now? What is it that I can do? Probably nothing. But let's think about what we have here. We have a person who's genuine. Okay? I'm 60 years old. I'm healthy. I'm well balanced. I'm financially successful. I'm well educated. I'm world traveled. I'm humble though. I've done a lot of my travel, 100,000 miles of it in the United States in an old 77 Volkswagen camper van. Okay? I am about as well balanced person as you're going to meet in spite of all the successes I've had, in spite of all my artistic endeavors, in spite of a life of living on my own, making my own rules, not working for anybody, just being my own artist, my own person. I call myself Artsy One. I went to art school. I learned what art was. I learned what art was not. Art is not artsy fartsy. Art is art that you can see. And by being one individual, you take something in the world that you find, you make an observation about it, you work it and mold it into a tangible reality that is uniquely your own, and you share it with another person through words, ideas. I've done sculpture, I've done installations, I've done art direction, I've done video production, I've done prop and set building on major motion pictures. I've done a lot of things, and I've given it as one individual as much as I can. For a while, I was actually working for Cruise in the early 90s. So I actually was on movie crews. So that's working for someone. And I walked, like I say, walked away from that life, even though it could have been lucrative and led to other things. And I decided to take all my earnings and say, okay, now what do you want to be? You want to be your own person. That's what you want to be. And that's what I did. So what I would caution you to do, and one of the reasons why you feel you lack self-confidence, is because you don't have the skills or the inclination, most likely at your age, maybe you do, to walk into those circles and regale them with all the great things of your worldly knowledge and experience and whatever that you might have, and have them go, oh, look at her, I need her in my life. That's why you don't have self-confidence, because you know that's not going to happen. It's a pipe dream. Come on. It's very unusual. And when it does happen, it's because there's a whole lot of things under the workings, under the radar that you don't see from these overnight successes. It seems like they have it all together. All the work, it's not glamour. I'll tell you that right now. Working in the industry is not glamorous. All the things that make a person look like they've got it together are the things I know about and I'm talking to you about. The only thing different is I've taken these things and built a life that I want, answering to no one. You could do that too, but you'd have to change your goals. You have to change your points of view of the world. You'd have to change everything that all your peers and everybody that is in the masses, which I'm calling the lowest common denominator, are all telling you we're the greatest. You have to know that and come and break through like I have and see it's all a bunch of bunk. And there's better. I'm not telling you there's not good moments. I mean, you get a lot of successes. You get down a road where, well, you're sharing with the crew. I'm talking 30, almost 35 years ago. You're talking with the crew and you're saying, look at what we've done, you know. And maybe you'll have some romances or whatever in that bubble that you're in. And maybe you won't. Maybe you'll be like Jacob Marley in A Christmas Carol, forging the links of the chains that you carry all the days of your life if you go down this road. Listen, I'll talk to you more about this, but if you want to have self-esteem and confidence, don't shoot so high. Rise up through the ranks. Become uncommon. Don't be a part of the lowest common denominator. And that self-confidence will come to you because you'll create it from nothing. And eventually people will see it. You don't just put it on like a shirt. You create it inside of yourself. And that's where the confidence comes from. And that's why I give like this. Because I have it, and I want you to have it too, if possible. Talk with me more if you like. Let me know what you think about what I've said. I'm Paul Roberts. This is Conscious Counseling 101. Counsel your conscious daily and become everything you are meant to be. Don't let anybody else counsel it for you, not even me. Just consider these things I've said and see if you can find a way to find a path on your own utilizing what I've shared with you today. And I'll be glad to talk with you more if you like.